What are you smiling at?
We could be live any moment. So I'm smiling now so that they don't, because I've watched our videos and some of them start with this.
Oh, really?
The people deserve more than that. So
what are you smiling at?
There's
an echo now.
Yeah, and there won't be in a second. All right, let me just get the chat room up, get my smile going. People should be populating it any second because they should have just gotten an alert if they're subscribed. All right, I say, let's just, let me get the music going and then we can play our song. Oh no, what seems to have happened here? I like natural. Sorry. Now a little bit of something happening over here regarding the music. What is happening? Hang on, everyone. Hello, everyone. I am. Aha. Here we go.
Childish, oh shit. Last time I checked, I was still a kid. Childish, childish. This all freaks me out a bit. Childish, oh shit. How can I parent when I'm still a kid? Childish, oh shit. Who the hell decided I was ready for this? Childish, oh shit. This is like a job that I cannot quit. Childish, oh shit. Maybe I should have gotten fixed.
Hey folks, Greg Fitzsimmons talking to you from Venice Beach, California.
Allison Rosen, just always in Burbank.
Do you get out of Burbank much?
We actually went down to Orange County this past weekend.
Oh, that's exciting.
Yeah, my parents are down there. So periodically we go there. Otherwise, I'm just in Burbank. I'm just haunting Burbank, actually specifically my house. I really don't get out much.
Is it getting smaller, your house?
It's getting messier, which is making it feel smaller. So yes, it is.
How do you guys break down housework in your house? Is there you vacuum, he does the bathroom?
We don't really have it organized in that way. We should. I am the one who vacuums. He's the one who does the dishes. And then we both complain and we both have different parts of the house that bother us. So like we have an island in our kitchen, but it has the sink in it. So I don't know if it's truly an island. Yeah. And if that gets cluttered, then I feel like despondent. I feel like the whole house is like a piece of shit. We are garbage people, and everything, for some reason, if that's messy, everything feels messy.
Sometimes the island is Oahu and sometimes the island is Haiti.
And he feels like if the dining room table and the area around the television are messy, that's his Oahu versus Haiti.
Yeah.
Terrible children's game. So we both complain.
Hold on a second.
Oh no, what happened?
My recorder got jammed.
Oh no.
We got to start the recording part again. You only need from after the song, right?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay, hang on. Let's just address what's happening to the people in the chat room. Hello, everyone in the chat room. Welcome to our live recording. Things have started with a few hitches, and we fucked up, and we have to start over. You're getting a real behind the scenes view of this.
Sometimes things don't go right. And that's why it's called podcasting. And
not perfect.
Not network broadcasting. All right, let's start.
Okay.
Hey, I'm Greg Fitzsimmons. I'm in Venice Beach, California.
We got to do it again because I talked over you. Are we going to just recap that exactly what we just did?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't care. We'll do whatever.
Okay.
Hey, this is Greg Fitzsimmons from Venice Beach, California.
Allison Rosen hanging out in Burbank.
Oh, the sights, the sounds of Burbank, the networks, the hand job, massage parlors lining Ventura Boulevard.
It is all happening. It's like Paris, Burbank, Milan.
Yeah.
New York. That's what they say.
Johnny Carson gave Burbank a bad name all those years. He always shit all over Burbank. And so that's most people's impression of it. But it's actually pretty nice. Burbank's nice.
When I first moved here from New York and here being back to California, and I was looking for a place in the LA area to live, I thought Burbank was kind of charming. And I remember everyone shitting on it. Like everyone thought it was awful, including my old boss, including so many people. And yet I liked it then. And then I allowed everyone to talk me out of it. And now I'm here. I feel like people have changed their mind about it. But wait, you're in Venice, but you're not in your regular office. You're in your home. I feel like we need to explain because it was a Childish first. There's been a venue change.
I was at my office, which apparently a pipe burst in the bathroom. And so there's a construction crew in there and there's a lot of drilling and hammering and sawing. And so I went out in the hallway and I tried to talk to a guy who spoke, I'm not making this up, not a single word of English. I, on the other hand, speak 12 to 15 words of Spanish. So but he did understand a $20 bill that I held up and I said, uno ahora. And he said no, that he has to trabajo. And so I said, all right, I got to go. So we packed up. I'm here in my house where my kids both speak thousands of words of Spanish. But
where were they? They were in your house.
And I needed them. How's your Spanish?
It is okay. It's not great. I studied it for many years. I've been to Barcelona. I didn't have a easy time speaking, even though I know school Spanish. I don't know conversational Spanish. And by that, I don't even.
Barcelona, they're speaking that.
Castilian.
Castilian, right?
Castilian. I don't know if that's, yeah. But I don't even mean I don't know slang. What I mean is I know like reading it in a textbook and then saying it back, but it's just in real life, it's so much faster. Here's my question for you though. I heard you say desde minutos. What were you asking? What were you trying to ask?
No, I said una hora.
I thought I heard you say desde minutos.
No, that's insane. That's insane that's what you heard.
Well, no, I heard the other stuff, but then maybe I thought you guys were trying to negotiate like how long you needed.
Yeah. So I held up a 20 and I said una hora and he said no.
Yeah.
Desde
That means
minutos.
Yeah. I think desde is since or until or something. But anyway, so that means he's making more than 20 an hour. That's good. Probably he is.
Yeah, I think he is.
You think
I don't
about
know, probably about that. Probably about 20. That's the new minimum wage in LA, $20.
I like that you tried though. You gave it the Fitzdog effort.
I'm from New York. Money generally talks in New York. In LA, it doesn't as much. They look at you like you're crazy. Even like tipping certain people. Like I find that like if I'm in a hotel on the road and my heat's not working and an engineer comes up and fixes it, I throw the guy $10 and he always looks at me like he doesn't even understand why I'm holding the money up sometimes. Whereas if you're in New York, he won't leave the room until you give him money.
Right.
Yeah.
So speaking of tipping and New York, when I first moved to New York and when my sister and I were going to move in together, we moved into a 1-bedroom, but we were going to turn it into a 2-bedroom, which is pretty common.
Very New York move.
Yes. There are these companies that put up pressure walls And a lot of the one bedrooms in this particular building had these pressure walls in it. So I called to make the appointment to get the pressure wall. Like you put it up in the living room and then you have a small weird shaped bedroom and a small weird shaped living room and then one normal bedroom. So he was like, oh yeah, it's going to be like 2 months till we can fit you in because they were so backed up. And I was pleading with him, like, is there any way you can come sooner? And I said, you know, if there's any way you could squeeze us in, I would be happy to, I would be happy to show you how much we appreciate it or something like that, which I meant give him a big tip. I meant give him a big tip, but
he was going to give you a big tip. Yeah.
Yeah. He tittered in a way that like haunts me to this day. It's one of these, I've been thinking about it lately. There are certain weird, but like small misunderstandings that have happened in my life that for some reason pop into my head all the time, like way out of proportion to the event, you know, just little misunderstandings that, and like, I almost feel like I want to write them down and just like, why do these constantly play on a loop in my head? And that's one that pops in my head a lot.
Yeah.
He definitely thought I was offering to like, I don't know what, but something sexual.
I said something racist unbeknownst to me. I was doing a show in the Midwest and it was a largely white crowd. And I was doing some crowd work as I'm known to do because I'm so fucking sick of my material sometimes. Even I don't want to hear it again. And so I'm talking to this guy in the front row, good looking guy. And I ask him if he's single and he says he is. And I say, what's a guy like you doing single? Young buck like you, single in a town like this? And then somebody said to me afterwards, like, young buck is like a term they used for like slaves.
Right.
And I remember when I said it, he kind of like the conversation kind of ended. It kind of got weird. And I think about that all the time. And it's, you know, it was a passing moment. He probably doesn't think about it, but yeah.
How long ago was that?
It was last week. No, it was a couple years ago.
I bet that he knew that you didn't even know what you said. If he's
I think he would probably give me, I don't think he thought. And out of the middle of my act, I would suddenly become like some fucking Confederate racist.
Right.
Y'all do young buck like you, show me your teeth.
Yeah, I would. I would think about that all the time too.
Yeah.
I want to hear about Cleveland, but I also have to tell you about a crazy story. Which one should we do first?
I want to hear your story.
Okay. So I blurted out the word penis in the middle of reading Elliot a story before bed. I will explain. Let me just say, I talk for a living. Some might not think very well, but it is what I do for a living. It is what I've done for many years. That has never happened to me. I have never had, and I don't even think it's a Freudian slip.
Is it like a Tourette's type of thing?
I don't know.
Go ahead.
I don't know what it was. So I don't know. But literally this has never happened to me. I'm misspoken, but never like that. So anyway, I was like tired. I had drank too much caffeine that day. I was just out of sorts. I had Bob Saget on my show and then I was on his show, vice versa, his show, then my show.
That's exhausting. Back-to-back shows.
It was back-to-back. I love Bob, but it was a lot of Bob.
Yeah.
But no, that sounds like I'm shitting on Bob. I'm not.
He's high energy. He's a very high energy guy. You got to hustle to keep up with Bob Saget.
I don't even think it was all the Bob. It was all the shows. Like in real life, back before we were connecting this way, I could do 3 shows in a row and I would be okay. I've noticed with Zoom, I can do 1 and then I need to recover. So anyway, do you know that show Pen 15?
I love it.
I love that show too. So he and I were talking about television and I was like, do you watch Pen 15? And he said, you know, it's penis, right? And I was like, yeah. And that was that. And then we talked about the show. His daughter went to school with one of them, blah, 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 blah. So then anyway, that night I'm reading a story to Elliot. It is this one, When the Wind Blew. Do you know it? It is about a big bear and a little bear. And there's a big storm and then they have to find a new place to live. So anyway, I'm sitting there reading to Elliot and thinking about my conversation with Bob and thinking, did he think that the title of the show is actually pronounced penis? Because I think it's Pen 15. That's where my head is. But my mouth says, I guess it was the wind, said Little Bear. There must have been a very big penis.
No,
I swear to God.
Really?
Yes. And then
So you said blow and penis in the same line?
I said very big. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I said all of them.
Yeah.
And I instantly, I'm like, oh, and Daniel's in the room too, which made it worse, actually. Like, I felt like I was weirdly like he had caught me fantasizing about someone else, even though I wasn't, but that's how I worried it was going to look.
Yeah.
So I instantly I was like, oh my God, I can't believe I said that. Oh my God, that's so weird. Like, totally have this like insane overreact. Well, or the normal reaction to it. I don't know. And then Elliot, for whom penis doesn't have any special charge yet. Like, he doesn't think penises are funny, or to him, like a penis is like an arm or just a body part.
Mine is.
Right.
Big
so he
fist
goes,
at the end. Yeah.
He goes, a really big penis, a really big penis, a really big. And so he starts saying it, and I'm just like, oh my God.
You fucked up. You infused it with meaning. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow. How did it last? Was it just in that moment, or is that his new refrain?
It was just that night. The next
Yeah.
day he wasn't saying it, but there is something he started saying when he's frustrated. He goes, fuck.
Really?
That's been a real mirror held up to Daniel and me. That's Daniel.
Yeah.
That one's on
Yeah.
him.
Right.
But Elliot says it. He sounds like a 40-something-year-old when he said, like, he sounds so world weary. He has really captured the correct way to say that word. Like, we were playing some game with like Elsa, and he couldn't do it right. And he went, fuck. And I was like, at least say fudge. He's like, no. He's like, I want to say, I'm like, I tried to explain that, like, some people think it's a bad, because I don't.
Well, you have to explain to him. You have to say, Elliot, fuck is a word that can be used so many different ways. You can fuck. You can get hurt and scream fuck. But the way you're saying it as fuck, it seems too familiar. So save it. If you get hurt, you can scream fuck.
Yeah.
You can't say the verb fuck until you're 16. And don't do it as a throwaway.
Right. Save it. Save your fucks.
Yeah. Save your fucks. I think there was a kid at JoJo's preschool. It was a little girl, and she would say fuck pretty frequently, and the teachers would tell her not to. And then one day she said it, and they took her into the bathroom, and they said, okay, you go inside, we're going to close the door, and you can say fuck as many times as you want, and we want you to just say it and say it and say it, and then not say it out here again. And so they closed the door, and this girl was going, fuck you, fuck, singing it, screaming it. And then after like 10 minutes, they open up the door, and the girl comes out, and she looks at them, and she goes, I think I got all the fucks out.
That is amazing. Oh my God. That's hilarious.
Yeah. I still am not comfortable with my kids saying it as teenagers. I just feel like, you know what? I know you're going to say it with your friends. Don't say it at the kitchen table. I don't, and it's hypocritical because I say it everywhere but the kitchen table. But somehow the kitchen table is a fuck-free zone.
Yeah, sacred. I tried to explain to him that, like, there are bad, it's like a bad word. And he's like, it's not a bad word. And then I just let it go. So I think for us, since he doesn't really understand, I think we just need to stop saying it all the time.
In front of him.
Yes. Oh yeah.
Well, yeah, no. You think so?
I don't know. Just
when did you have that epiphany? Yeah.
Just something just made me think that
Elliot,
might be a good idea.
Will you fucking stop saying fuck?
Okay, I want to hear about your voyage to Cleveland.
I think a voyage is a boat. I flew, which was safer than I thought it would be.
Mhm.
And I flew on Frontier Airline because it's the only one left that flies directly to Cleveland. And up until this point, I've avoided Frontier Airline the way I've avoided Greyhound.
Right.
And so I said, fuck it, how bad can it be? And then they had an upgrade offer for like $100. You could upgrade to first class. So needless to
Wow.
say, yeah, I know. Needless to say, I get on in first class was an overstatement. It was a slightly bigger seat. Put it this way. The seats were so small in first class that I had an obese woman sitting next to me who was spilling over the armrest entirely. Over it. That's the whole point of first class, is that obese people can feel comfortable. They pay a little extra,
Right.
and they get to spill over and not bother anybody. So, but the flight was great. I felt safe. I read about it. They said, that there's like a 0.003% chance of getting COVID from a flight. It's very safe.
I think that my friend Bob Saget was telling me that. Yeah, I read
because
is
he did my podcast before yours, and I
Oh,
told him that.
I feel like, given that you and I do a podcast together, and he knew that, he was doing both of our podcasts and vice versa, he should have clued me in that was info from you, don't you think?
Yes, I think he should have footnoted it.
Right.
But you know what? He's fast and loose. That Bob Saget. Once you
He
get
should
him going,
He should have Fitz noted it,
he should have Fitz-noted it.
given it a Fitz note.
I
Well, I'm
got
glad
I
you
get
felt
to
safe.
I get to the airport, and then I get picked up in a limo, and it's a woman driver, and I don't want to be sexist, but she pops the trunk, and my bag is sitting there, and I look at the bag, and I look at her, and she looks at the bag, and she looks at me, and I fucking wait, and then she picks up the bag, and she struggles. It wasn't easy. She wasn't a big woman,
Right.
but she got it in. She got it in.
Well, good for her.
And that's part of the job. Don't look at me. Don't look at the bag and look at me. I don't have a hat on. Do I have a hat on?
I mean, right now, yes, but I guess you weren't wearing one then.
I might have been.
I
But
get
my
what you're
point
saying.
my point is, pick up the fucking bag. If
Yeah.
you want to be a woman and do a man's job, do the man's job. I'm just kidding, Allison.
I'm just taking it in. I'm just wondering what direction to go here.
So
Wait,
then I
but
get
are
in the
you-
back.
But you're not kidding about the bag, though, right?
No, I made her pick up the bag. So I get in the car, and we start driving, and she's lovely. She's very friendly, and she remembers me from last time, and she's a fan, which is all very nice. But then she brings up politics, and I was like, yeah, I know. God, I hate talking politics. It's always divisive and blah, blah, blah. She's like, I know. It's all anybody talks about. And, it's like, the president is the one that's making sense, right? And she goes into a
Oh, God.
whole
She
Trump
did not
thing.
hear your please don't do this to me.
Simple request. And that's part of your fucking job. If you are in customer service,
Yeah.
you should know that politics is off the fucking table, especially when the client says, I don't want to talk about politics.
Right.
So then we get into a whole thing. I'm not fighting her on it, but I'm feng shuiing her. I'm
Mm.
taking her statements and I'm gently, and so whatever. So, and then I always tip, like I said, I tip. So I give her $20 and she's, thank you very much. So then in the morning I'm leaving from the hotel. Who fucking picks me up? Starts
Trump's
right in
number
again
one
on Trump.
driver. Sorry,
What's
sorry,
that?
I talked over you. I said Trump's number one driver. What did you
Yes.
say?
Yeah. So she picks me up, starts right in again on
Oh
Trump.
my God.
Yeah. So I just pick up my phone and I go, I'm sorry, I got to call my mom. So I called my mom, and for the 25 minutes of the airport, I just talked to my mom, and still threw her $20. What's your feeling on tipping? Do you think it is based on performance, or is it just an industry standard?
I think it's the industry standard. However, if someone goes above and beyond, then I will increase the tip. And I guess in theory, if someone I don't think I've ever not tipped because I've been angry. In fact,
Yeah.
I've been with people who have withheld a tip because they didn't like the service, and it's made me very uncomfortable. So I do think it's just the industry standard, but I will tip even more. Here's a question though, and this is not relatable to everyone. This is special VIP talk. You and I, being the, big shots that we are, we get free stuff sometimes. What is your policy on tipping on a free thing? Because I remember, actually, this is before I was, the big shot that I am now, when I was just a regular person. Our friend was a bartender at this bar that we used to go to. And so he always hooked us up with free drinks. And then we'd always tip him more than the amount of the drinks.
Of
and
course,
I thought,
naturally.
yeah, but I mean, we'd tip like what the drink would have cost plus. So therefore I was like, this is actually more expensive than if I weren't your friend. But wow, what service.
No, I think the guideline is you tip roughly what the drink would have cost in tip, but you don't pay for the base unit of the drink itself.
Okay. I think that I was doing both.
Yeah, I think you might have screwed that one up.
Yeah.
Here's one time I went to there's this place and Venice has gotten very shishi, and especially on Abbot Kinney, which is like their little Champs-Elysees running through town, where it's like little shops where you walk in and there's 4 pairs of jeans and 2 pairs of shoes and a fur hat, and that's it. And somehow they're making a living off of that, and the rent's $30,000 a month. And so there's a little shop called Zinc, Zinque. It's a coffee shop.
God. Oh yes, I feel like I've heard of this.
I think there's one in Hollywood and maybe even Burbank at this point. There's 2 or 3 of them. And it's like a coffee shop, but they serve lunch, and it's got an outdoor cafe, and everybody there, the entrees are $23, and yet for lunch, and yet there's these 22-year-old kids sitting there eating lunch, having a fucking glass of $20 wine, and you go like, where are you getting this money?
Maybe they're
Why
influencers.
are you all so young?
Yeah.
And so I go to the bar, and I've just played paddle tennis. So I'm dressed in some shorts, I'm sweaty. And I say, can I have a cup of coffee? And the guy, first I can't get his attention. He's on the other side of the bar. It's quiet. It's like in between lunch and dinner. And he's like fucking polishing glasses like he's in a saloon in the 1930s. And he's spitting and rubbing them.
Oh God.
And so I can't get his attention. And finally I'm like waving at him, and he comes over, and I go, yeah, can I get a cup of coffee? So he goes off, and he starts talking to another waiter before getting my coffee. This goes on for like 5 minutes. And then finally makes the coffee, brings it over, and he goes, that'll be $3.50. So, and I'm fucking furious at this point.
Yeah.
Because I'm furious at Zinc when I walk in. So he's predisposed to me not liking him.
Right, but he's not doing anything to undo your zincophobia. When
you see a guy in a pair of gym shorts wearing a Grapefruit Simmons t-shirt walk into Zinc, you got to immediately think, okay, we got to work against type here. We got to bring this guy into the Zinc mindset.
Yeah.
And so he says it'll be $3.50. I throw him a $5. He goes back and he starts polishing glasses again. I go, excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. I go, I think I got some change coming. And then he goes, like he thinks I'm crazy. And it takes him a while. And then he comes and he gives me $1. And then he walks away.
What?
Polishing some glasses. I go, excuse me. I think I got a little more change coming. And he looks at me. I'm not making this up. He looks at me and he goes, we don't do change here.
Oh my God.
I said, you don't do, I say it loud. Everybody in the place can hear me. I said, you don't do change. I go, oh, so let me get this straight. It's 50 cents. That gets rounded up. Is that how it works? You don't do change. No, you do it. You take change.
Yeah.
It's not that you don't do it. And so he goes, hold on. And so now he's like, I've embarrassed him. So he scurries away and he comes up, and he must have had to fucking ask the dishwasher for some silver. And he comes back and he gives me 2 quarters. And I go, thanks a lot, man. Have a good day.
That is amazing. We don't
Yeah.
like if you had given him 3 and then 2 quarters, 350, would he have been like, oh, I'm sorry, we don't do change and given it back to you? No.
That's right. That's right, Allison Rosen.
That is some bullshit.
Yeah. Yeah.
But, and this is what I like. One of the many things I like about you. It's bullshit, but it's really very tiny bullshit. So it's just like bullshit on principle, but you're willing to go to the mat for it. Because I am too.
It's why Curb Your Enthusiasm is my favorite show on television, because it's about the little shit that it can either eat. Look, there's 3 options. Either you eat it and you carry it around all day, maybe for days, maybe weeks, it can eat you up. Or you can be Zen-like and you can somehow say, I don't need this thought to be in my head. I'm going to gently move it out of my head and replace it with another thought. That costs a lot of money in therapy. Yeah. Or you can fucking throw it right back in their face and walk out of there having cleansed your palate. You're never going to think about it again, except as a victory.
I never really opt for the third. No, maybe I do. Okay, here's a question. This one is right on the line. I'm having a small battle with my health insurance company. They don't know that they're having a battle with me. They didn't pay a claim that they should have paid. So I called, and it had to do with, it was an appointment with my endocrinologist, but because of COVID, it was over the phone.
Yeah.
And they're like, well, you're not covered for telehealth. And I'm like, but it wasn't truly telehealth. Like I would have gone normally in for it. He just did it over the phone. So they're like, oh, let us, refer you to our COVID team. They have a special COVID. The COVID team was like, oh yeah, that, we should be covering that. In essence, that was that. Some weeks pass, 0 happens. I call back to talk to them again. And the same thing. They put me through to the COVID team. Oh yeah, we'll take care of that for you. Now, that was like 2 months ago, or it could have been 5 weeks ago. I don't know. Time is confused. Nothing happens. So now I'm owed about $170. No, sorry, $130. It's the value of this is $130. Do I do round 3 or do I just let it go?
It depends on how it will stay with you or whether you can let it go. Because it's not the amount of money, it's the fact that and America knows, and they know that their policy is to
wear you down
and assume that 21% of people are going to not fight it, and that's their bottom line at the end of the year. They just made 21% in profit because they made things difficult for the consumer.
Right. When you put it that way, the righteous thing to do is to get on the phone with them again. But I so don't want to. I'm just like,
I think you got to do it. You got to do it.
For America?
Do it for America.
For America.
USA, 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 USA.
The thing is, by the way, you know that your dog sheds and you don't do anything about it when you clap and you see fur fly in the air. This is what I didn't do the last 2 times. When he told me he would take care of it, I went, oh, thank you so much. I didn't say okay, specifically what's going to happen. Am I going to see when I log in, will I see that it has been, coded differently, or will I get a check? I needed to find out specifically how it was going to roll out. I just trusted them. That
Allison,
was where I made the mistake. Yes.
Are we going to talk about parenting or children at some point?
Well, I did tell you the story where I said penis in front of my son.
That's
and that
true.
He now says
that was
fuck.
good.
So I feel like we've done it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's talk about parenting.
Let's do some news stories.
Let's do some news. There's a thing we play. Just you hang on.
Time for the news.
Hey.
Who's gonna kick this off?
Well, I read a thing, and I don't have a lot of details on this, so I think we're going to have to just sort of deconstruct it ourselves.
All right.
Disney movies. There was a list on parenting.com or something. And they basically say that in postmodern America, we're looking back at these Disney movies, and parents, even though they're nostalgic about them, they are questioning which ones they want to allow their kids to watch. Some people say just ban them. Other people say it's a good opportunity to talk to your kids about racism, tolerance, diversity, your mom fucking dying when you're 3.
Right.
So here's their top 10 list
of controversial ones.
Of the most controversial movies. And I don't know, maybe this can be like a quiz for you as a woke person in Burbank. What's wrong with these movies?
I love a quiz. All right.
Okay, here's the quiz. The number 1 worst movie to show your kids, and I actually know this one.
Can I guess?
Yeah.
Song of the South.
Oh, that's not even on here, but
it's so bad it's not even on there.
That
Okay,
was the
sorry.
That was the roots of Disney movies.
Yeah.
No, number 1,
Okay.
Dumbo.
All right. In Dumbo, well, now are they saying because it's racist, or are they just saying because it's like problematic? I guess it's up to me, a woke Burbankian, to say what I think is potentially wrong with Dumbo. I mean, they are making fun of his ears and his appearance, so that's one thing that's bad. But then also, are Heckle and Jekyll from Dumbo?
The Black Crows.
Yes. So
that's that. Ding, 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 ding.
So racist crows.
They sit on the telephone wire, and when Dumbo is flying around, first of all, there's also the writers were clearly taking LSD when they wrote this script.
Yeah.
There is a 5-minute, completely trippy, spacey, like anybody who's tripping should watch this scene from Dumbo. And then he starts flying, and the 2 crows are like, and I ain't never seen no elephant fly. Seen this. It is like the worst portrayal of Black people you've ever seen, and they're Black crows. All right, number 9, Peter Pan.
I think the portrayal of Native Americans in Peter Pan is likely problematic.
I think that is correct.
Okay.
I think there's a few things with Peter Pan. He's transsexual, but they call him a he. No, I don't know. Beauty and the Beast.
Oh.
Bestiality jumps out at me, but I don't know if they ever did the deed.
They don't really do the deed in most Disney movies.
It's implied though, isn't it? Doesn't she move into the castle and...
Yeah, when he's still a beast.
Yeah.
I imagine it just has to do with looks and stuff again.
Yeah.
But maybe not. What am I forgetting about Beauty and the Beast? That one doesn't seem to be particularly bad.
I don't know. I'm going to research this, and we'll Snow White.
Well, let's see here. What could be problematic about Snow White? I mean, again, I don't know if this just has to do with woke stuff, or if it's like Snow White is really dark. Like, we started watching it, and I didn't know how I was going to explain to Elliot that the queen tells whoever, go out and bring back her heart.
Yeah.
And then he doesn't have the balls to do it, so he brings back like a pig heart or a wolf heart or something. That dark.
Could be it. It could be the fact that she's passed out and somebody kisses her. That's wrong.
Right. That happens to a lot of them.
It could be the idea that she is living with 7 midgets or little people.
You cannot say midgets.
And and none of them is acceptable as a life partner. It has to be some good-looking guy who comes in from the outside. What about dating one of the little people?
That's true.
What about Happy Or what
Yeah.
about Doc? He's a doctor, got a
He's-
medical degree.
Right. He's erudite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sneezy, he's got blow.
You know what? I think that, oh, wait a minute. But there's there's one that doesn't talk. Is it Bashful? There's one that's
Yeah.
mute. And I feel like that is like not, I feel like I've heard people say that that's not an okay portrayal of people who are on the spectrum. For
Right.
real.
I also thought Rapey, so he did. How did that make the cut?
Yeah, they should. Exactly.
All right. What's your news story?
So I know you don't want to get political. This is a little bit political.
Oh boy.
But PragerU, and I know that you are not familiar with PragerU, so I will explain. PragerU videos, these are very slanted right-wing videos, were assigned in an Ohio public school for extra credit. And it turns out that the right-wing site is looking to further its influence in kindergarten through 12th grade. So
Wow.
for people who like PragerU and like Dennis Prager and agree with all that, that's, wonderful for them. But for the rest of us, it's scary. So Dennis Prager is this right-wing conservative, blowhard guy. He's like ultra Orthodox, religious, Jewish. And I find him to be a bit insufferable. Although I met him when I was at the Adam Carolla show, and he's actually like a decently nice person in person. He
Hitler
was to
fucking
me.
charming.
Yeah, exactly. And culture.
I mean, I'm not
is
comparing this
sweet.
guy to Hitler. I'm just saying, like, people that cult leaders are
Yeah,
often very charming. That's how
Yeah.
they get through.
right. I don't know that I'd say he's that charismatic, but anyway, he has PragerU, which is this like, I don't know if there's actually I don't know if they just put out videos to like re-educate people or if there's actually classes you can take through them. I don't know. But anyway, so this is in public school though, in a public school in Ohio. The videos with titles such as Build the Wall, Why the Right Was Right, and The Left Ruins Everything
No.
were assigned to a 10th grade class.
Wait, in which cities?
It was
Which
in
states?
a city. It was in Ohio. It was in a school in
Wow.
Ohio, and it was a city called Maumee, Maumee, which is like 10 miles southwest of Toledo.
Damn.
Yeah. So PragerU is doing this thing called PrEP, which is PragerU Educators and Parents. That's what it stands for. And so like 2,000 parents and educators have already signed up for PrEP. This is their thing where they're trying to like get in front of kindergarten through 12th grade kids. So anyway, the PrEP program study guide quizzes students with true-false questions such as, so these are the questions for people in doing the PrEP thing. Nearly all the major 19th and 20th century breakthroughs in healthcare were made by Western Europeans and North Americans. And then the study guide says the answer is true. And then another true-false question asks students to evaluate the following: Big tech, with its control of search algorithms, its shadow banning, and deboosting, supports political correctness and the resulting limitations of freedom. So it's definitely
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I think they've since decided not to do it. Like the parent created enough of a stink. At the beginning, they were like, okay, well, why don't we just also show stuff from the other side? Which I think, if my personal feeling is, if they're presenting slanted stories from each side to have a discussion about propaganda or a discussion of media literacy,
Yeah.
that's actually valuable. But just
I don't
presenting it.
I don't think Moni, Ohio is meta at this point in their educational practices.
I don't either. No, I mean, this sounds like a teacher who, like your limo driver, had an agenda.
Yeah.
That's not cool.
It really begs the question of, will we ever come back from this environment of, people just villainizing the other side? And, for somebody like him to come in, and you realize, like, depending on what state you're in, like if you go down south, there's no, creationism is taught.
Yeah.
it's, evolution is literally not in the history books. Political movements that they don't agree with are not covered
That's so
in their
scary to
history
me.
books.
That's so alarming.
And it is, and it's it's the same for Democrats. I mean, the liberals are certainly out of step with what a lot of people are experiencing in other parts of the country.
Yeah.
And we are in our bubble the way they're in their, and I'm not saying which is right and which is wrong, but can we come out of this? Is this the new stasis for the country?
Yeah, and I don't know the answer. I mean, I think a lot of it is going to have to do with I don't know. It's very alarming. It's just the hold that ideology has right now I'm not making sense.
Well, the one thing
But
that's
it's
happened in the
disconcerting.
past is like when there's been a catastrophic event, a world war, we tend to come together as a country.
Yeah.
It happened during the world wars. It happened
Shortly after 9/11 for a little while.
after 9/11 for a little while. And it didn't happen with COVID. COVID was the opposite. It actually pushed people
Splintered
further
us.
apart. So I'm hoping that that's not a sign that we're no longer going to be able to have the capacity to come together again as a country.
But if you think about why we were coming together, it was against a common enemy. So there's kind of a dark side to that.
Well, I guess Trump would say that common enemy is China.
Right.
All
Should
right,
we
let's get off politics.
Let's get off politics. Should we do some highs and lows?
Yeah, you start.
Okay.
Lows.
Okay. My high. Hi.
My high.
We went down to Orange County, and my sister and her family were there too. And so I mentioned last time we recorded, there's 4 boys, and one of them is like 8. He's less than 1, so he's still very much a baby. So he's not in the mix just yet. But the other 3, so 1.5, 3.5, and 5, play together so sweetly, except for when they don't. But for the most part, they do. And it's just so fun to just watch them enjoy each other.
Yeah.
And feel like I heard my dad say, like, wow, it really makes you feel immortal. My dad, who is thinking about his own mortality, given that he's, has a birthday coming up and stuff. I don't yet have this immortal feeling because I'm not yet thinking about stuff like that. But just to watch, like, oh, the next generation of this family, and to sort of think about how they're this like little group of boys, and it's very sweet. So yeah, that was my high, was just watching them, how much fun they were having together.
It is amazing because, like, talking about politics like we are, you do see that next generation, and you see hope. You see that they will have the capacity to take on problems the way every generation has in this country. They're going to have creative ways of finding jobs, making peace with people, living as a citizen in a democracy that has freedom of speech and has, a lot of different types of people coming together. Like it's empowering to watch that. That's great.
Yeah. What about you?
Mine is, hold on, I'll have to show you mine. I have to take off my headphones for a second. Now, this little beast, this is Hannah.
Hi, Hannah.
Hannah is, she's like 14 or something. Look at you. And she'd never been to the ocean before. Even though we live a mile from the ocean, we never took her there for some reason.
Mm-hmm.
And so we didn't know how she would react to the waves and the water. And we took her there. And this old lady was like a fucking puppy. She was running towards the water, running away from the water, diving in the water, swimming. It was so much fun.
That's so cute, Hannah. Is she a Shih Tzu?
Look at that ugly face. She's all worn out.
I like that face.
Yeah. Yeah, she's sweet.
What kind is she? A Shih Tzu or part Shih Tzu?
She's a Shih Tzu, yeah.
She is so cute. Now, so Brule didn't get to go to the water.
Brule stayed away from the water. We brought him, but
Oh.
he didn't partake.
That's so
But
sweet.
she did. It was very cute, and the kids enjoyed it, or the kid enjoyed it. Jojo.
How's
Yeah.
Owen doing?
Owen's doing good. He, he's only taken 2 classes this semester because he didn't enjoy it in the spring. He felt like it was a waste of money, and so he's just taken a couple classes. I don't know what else he's doing with his time. He works out a lot. He runs. I think there's a fair amount of marijuana being smoked among the 6 guys living in the house, but they don't leave the house. They're like super social distance, mask wearing, responsible young men.
Good.
And they're really interesting guys. Like, they cook good meals, and one guy's a musician, one guy's an artist. They watch good films. He says we really talk about, intellectual things. And so I think it's been good. It was a good choice for him to go, even though he's not showing up physically to class. Just to be in Chicago and with his boys, I think was a good thing for him.
Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah, I mean, so I feel like so much of the school experience is living with your classmates.
Yeah.
My low, we had, I don't know if it's truly a COVID scare, but it felt like a COVID scare. On Monday, my boy's nanny texted me and said that she had a fever and a runny nose.
Oh boy.
And if she didn't feel better, she was going to go to the doctor that afternoon. And Daniel was calm, but I was in like an extended multiple hour, I don't want to call it a panic attack, because it wasn't a true panic attack where like you think you're dying and you get tunnel vision. But I mean, I definitely felt anxiety coursing through my body, and I was definitely convinced, okay, we're all going to get it. Like,
yeah.
We played fast and loose. We played Russian roulette with our health. I was like, I can't believe we thought of even going back to the preschool. Like, this is crazy. And then thinking like all the people that I need to tell, which was really just one person, but like we had another babysitter who also has been very safe. So I had to tell her, and she then texted me from the doctor that afternoon, and she had an ear infection. Oh, sorry. I didn't tell you. She had a fever of 103 though.
She had an ear infection?
No, she had an ear infection.
Oh.
And a fever of 103.
Jesus.
So the 103,
That's
before
hot.
I knew it was an ear infection, scared me. So it was an ear infection. So at that point, I'm like, okay, probably that's what's causing this. Like, what are the chances she has an ear infection and COVID? But still, she didn't get her COVID results until Friday. We also got tested, and we knew we were negative. So everyone's negative. It's all okay. But we had to take care of our own children, which is so unnatural.
Well, I also love how you didn't once mention and we were very concerned for her health. It was, I mean, I'm sure you were.
I was going to get to
sure
that.
You were.
I was.
I mean, look.
I feel like that goes without saying.
Yeah, no, I know. That's why you didn't say it.
That's because it went without saying. Of
Yes.
course I was worried. Look, she's only a couple of years older than I am, hence young and healthy. She would have been okay. We all would have been okay.
Yeah.
Unless we weren't. I don't know.
I had a COVID scare a little bit. Here's my low. Well, my low was I came back from Cleveland and I put myself in quarantine in the house where I am right now. Spent a lot of time back here. And so it was 5 or 6 days I was back here. And it's really hard because, as you can see here, I can show you, if you're watching this, you can see through the sliding glass door of the guest house into the TV room of the other house. And I can watch my wife and my daughter eating ice cream, laughing at the TV, loving each other. And I'm back here alone, just on a shittier couch with a shittier TV and eating my own food. And it sucked. I didn't think it would suck as bad. There was a part of me, I'm not going to lie to you. There was a part of me that was guiltily feeling looking forward to it. Oh my God, this is going to be like being a bachelor, a divorcee. I'm going to have my own space, do my
5
own
days
thing.
alone.
That lasted 5 minutes. And I realized I want to be with them. This sucks.
Yeah.
So I didn't even masturbate once, which, by the way, I am right now. And I hope I don't get caught because I saw what happened to
Jeffrey Toobin.
Toobin.
Yeah.
How insane is that guy?
Can we talk about that?
I mean, look, we all get bored on Zoom calls, but like, when I was 17, I needed to masturbate all the time. This guy is like 60 years old.
I don't understand. Okay, so for anyone who doesn't know, Jeffrey Toobin, who's a New Yorker writer and a CNN contributor,
Super intellectual, very respected.
Yeah,
guy.
was at first the story was he accidentally exposed himself on a Zoom call, which raised so many questions, and then it came out later that he was masturbating on a Zoom call and didn't realize, like he thought that he had his camera turned off, or I don't understand. And it was like, it was with a bunch of other New Yorker writers, and they were doing like a run through of like something not titillating at all. Well, who knows what gets him off, but yeah, I don't understand. I'm not a man. Explain this. What happened, Greg?
Well, Allison, there's something about boredom that makes men horny. I don't know what it is. Like if you leave me alone in my office, it may happen. If I'm in a writer's room, I have, not often, but a couple times, I have slipped off from a writer's room and gone to the bathroom and pleasured myself out of pure, absolute boredom.
Okay. So,
but I think they're going to get sued because nowadays, like every woman on that call is going to assume he was looking at her,
right?
And she's going to feel violated, and she's going to sue the magazine.
So honestly, my first reaction was, and I'm sure these words will bite me in the ass. My first reaction was like, is this such a big deal? Like what he was doing, there's not actually anything wrong with.
No, but
it was just
no, you could see his hand on his penis.
Right. But if it truly was accidental, like it's just a super embarrassing, like it's just a real gap. What I mean by that is like, there's nothing, he wasn't doing. What I meant is he was masturbating, and no, we don't all think there's anything wrong with masturbating. So it's just like
he was masturbating at work. This was a work call.
Right. Well, so then I came around to like, well, but it's really not okay.
No, this is a new conference room. You're essentially in a conference room.
So I'm doing Weight Watchers. Daniel and I are both doing it. Not
How
sponsored.
long have you been doing it for?
I don't know. I forget. A couple months at this point. I've lost
that's great.
A resounding 7 pounds. Daniel's lost like 23.
Allison, that's amazing. Good for
you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I actually feel good about it. My clothes feel bigger, and 7 pounds is something. It's just so fucking slow for me. And for Daniel, it's just like, he just dropped it so fast. But anyway.
That happens for men more than women. Absolutely.
So I go to
Can I just say one thing before you go on?
Yes.
There's something I just want you to keep in your head, which was a beautiful thing that Duncan Trussell said, which is don't lose weight because you hate yourself. Lose weight because you love yourself.
Oh, I like that.
Yeah. Anyway, go on.
So I do these Weight Watchers meetings over Zoom, and I just log on and I turn my camera off and my mic off, and I just listen. Other people participate, I just listen. But there's one day where I was really tired, and I wanted to take a nap, and I'm like, oh fuck, this is the time that I'm supposed to be like calling into that Weight Watchers meeting. You know what? I'm just gonna get in bed, and I'm just gonna turn my phone on and put it next to my pillow, and I'm just gonna and basically I slept through the thing, and I was like, I hope it permeated. But is that kind of what he was doing? He was like, I got to be on this call. I'm just gonna have some Toobin time.
No, it's not okay. There's no way it's okay.
Do you think that he was getting off on how inappropriate it was?
Well, that's my point, is I think that most of the women will assume he was, which is going to creep them out.
Yeah. If I was on a Zoom call with someone, like a formal work situation, I found out they were beaten off during it, I would feel super repulsed.
Yeah. Anyway.
Yeah. All right. Those are our highs and lows. Let me see what time it is. Wow, Greg, it's over a minute. We have some emails. We have some
It's
Instagram.
over a minute.
We've been broadcasting for over a minute. Do you think we should do 2 minutes?
Let's give them 2 minutes.
All right.
They downloaded it. They put their headphones in.
I don't know. We usually wrap it up around a minute. We are a little bit over an hour is what I meant to say. Although we did have to start again.
Right.
So it's a little bit less than that. We have emails and we have some Instagram responses.
All right. This was a follow-up. A woman, Gina.
Hang on. I know you.
Thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
You wrote.
All right.
Gina was following up on a conversation we had about a gentleman getting, conversation was about piercings, and a gentleman had gotten what you call a Prince Albert, which is a piercing a gentleman gets in his penis right through the top of the shaft, just beneath the crown.
But like through the urethra, right?
Yeah.
And it's supposed to be less painful than whatever the alternative is, which is the bar. And that's always surprised me because it certainly doesn't sound not painful.
Anyway, my husband has a cousin who got it, and his wife, this sounds like a crock of shit. His wife has a tongue piercing. I've been told that yes, once they got stuck together. No, they didn't. They didn't. You know, that's something somebody said, and it was funny. It didn't happen.
Wow.
But what
Greg
she did say,
calls bullshit.
I call bullshit on this, Gina. But she did say, the cousin said it's like when you pee, it's like turning a garden hose from stream to spray, which
Yes.
I can see that. That's a mess. You have to sit down and pee once you get a Prince Albert.
Have you ever, and you don't have to answer this, have you ever been with someone who had a piercing? I never have.
In their genitals?
Or their tongue?
No.
Yeah, I haven't either.
I mean, I'm so old. I've barely been with people that have tattoos. Like, chicks didn't have tattoos when I was in college.
Right. You knew you were never with someone who had like a tramp stamp?
I mean, I'm sure I was, but like, not like today where everyone's got them. Did we talk about whether or not? Yeah, I told you my kids. Jojo turns 18 in July, and then we're gonna all get the same tattoo.
Yeah, I like that.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad you brought up tattoos because we need to issue a correction. I don't know, or just revisit something. So there was an email that you read where a guy was saying that his 18-year-old got a tattoo on his forearm. Yes, where the Jews were tattooed.
Yeah.
And you and I were like, why did he say that? Like, why did he assume that we were thinking that? Do you remember?
Yeah.
A listener let me know that was a reference to something we had said previously. When we were talking about tattoos,
Okay.
we were talking about forearm tattoos. And I think we were like, so anyway, apologies to the person. I almost wrote that person, but then I didn't.
I'm going to write all 6 million families of the people that lost somebody in the Holocaust.
Do you think they're all listening? Is that our audience?
That's our audience. What if it turned out that just out of coincidence, that was our audience? All right, let's get to another one. This is from Jacob. Greg, you're a successful comedian.
What was that? Eye
know.
roll.
So it's a little slow this year. There's not a lot of stand-up money coming in this year. Every fucking club is closed. This is my first weekend in 7 months because almost every club is closed. While your kids were young, did you at all try to influence them towards or away from this type of industry? And Allison, will you try to point your kids towards or away from the world of writing? What about broadcasting?
Yeah.
I feel almost all parents in their chosen career path have a definite answer for this. And I think most parents would want their kids to shy away from whatever they have chosen. Allison, why don't you begin?
Well, the thing is, I don't really make money from writing anymore. That was my career, but now it's broadcasting, podcasting that makes me money. So I don't really exactly know if I would not try to talk them out of a career in writing if that's what spoke to them. I would definitely encourage it. That said, I feel personally fortunate that organically I shifted away from writing for magazines into this field, because I think that people who are magazine journalists now are struggling. Like there's not really a robust industry around that anymore like there was. So I don't, a lot of the people that I worked at magazines with have now switched to different careers, and they feel fortunate that they were able to land on their feet too. Yeah. So I think if they wanted to be magazine journalists, that's like a hard road, but they can be who they're going to be. I want them to be who they are, but I would offer some advice if they asked.
If one of my kids tries to become a stand-up comedian, I will have somebody take them hostage, put them into a cult, and reprogram them. It is no life for one of my kids. I want them home, cranking out grandkids for me to play with, making a decent living, having solid relationships with friends, going to weddings, not missing every fucking birthday party and retirement party and whatever parties people have, because you're off at the St. Louis Funny Bone telling jokes to drunks who are eating chicken wings instead of paying attention, getting on a fucking airport shuttle at 6 a.m. to connect flights through Kansas City so you can come home and be exhausted for the next 2 days. No, I would not encourage them.
But other than that, you don't really have a strong feeling about it?
Other than that, whichever way they want to go.
What if they wanted to write for TV?
Absolutely. That's a good gig. And it's competitive, and you can definitely be out of work for stretches of a time, which can make you neurotic. And it is one of those jobs in Hollywood where when you're out of work, all you want so bad is to get another writing job. And then when you do, within 3 days, you fucking hate the job.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be there anymore. It's really, writing is a weird thing. It's not a pleasurable thing, but it's rewarding on a deep level, but it's not day in and day out like fun, the way people think it would. It can be, but it can be a slog.
Do you find, or can you remember when stand-up on a day-to-day was fun?
Oh no, stand-up is always fun. I've been doing it for 30 years and I still love it every time I go up. I just don't like the travel.
I see.
Yeah.
So that's why you would
being away and traveling and all that.
Right. So that's why you would discourage. She's so cute. That's why you would discourage them, because it's just because of the trade-off.
Yes.
Got it. And yet now you can't really go anywhere and you're not loving being grounded.
I'm not loving not making much money.
Right.
But I am enjoying my life. I go to the beach a lot. I play golf a lot. I see my family more than I ever have. I see my friends more than I ever have. I don't know. But,
take your dog to the water.
Yeah, we do all kinds of fun shit. But it's time. It's time to get back to work. I hit up a friend of mine is starring in a TV show, and I just got picked up for another season. So I hit him up for a writing job, and he told me none of the writers from last season have left the show, so there's no openings. Otherwise, I would have had a job, which would have been nice.
Those bastards.
I know. It's tough out here right now.
Have you seen Ted Lasso?
Yes.
What did you think of it?
We're
still watching it. Yeah, it's
I
cute.
liked it very much. I mean, I feel like it's one of those shows that's got a big premise it has to overcome. Like Schitt's Creek. It's like, all right, if you're going to tell me that this guy's never coached soccer and now he's in another country coaching a kid, all right, you're going to have to really give me a good show to justify that pitch. And it's like with Schitt's Creek, but Schitt's Creek has completely overcome it. I think it's just one of the most heartwarming, funny, solid shows I've ever seen. And I like this show, but you know what? After 3 episodes, you got to sign up for, what is it, Apple TV or something?
Yeah, we get it for free for some reason.
Well, we don't, so I'm out. I'm not.
Okay.
I already got Showtime. I got Hulu. I got Netflix. I got so many fucking subscriptions. I don't
I
even
know.
remember which ones I have. Sirius XM, and then you got my basic cable bill, and I got HBO on top. It's like enough for I got enough shows to watch. I don't need to sign up for some. It's like that when they came up with that Quibi. I said right out of the gate, Quibi's gonna die.
Yeah,
They spent $1 billion on programming. And
I know.
Died.
I've literally never watched a Quibi.
Yeah.
Can we talk about the room you're in for a moment?
Sure.
YouTube.com/Allison Rosen, if people need to see it. So I'm staring at a sewing machine and like a pile of shoes.
Is there a pile of shoes back?
Whose shoes and why
Oh.
are they in a pile?
Those are water shoes. When we went to Catalina
Oh.
Island, we bought water shoes because we were going to be doing a lot of rock climbing and snorkeling and stuff where you're walking on the rocks. And then next to that is a sewing machine. JoJo likes to sew.
Oh,
She sews all her own clothes.
that's amazing.
Not all of them, but like she'll take a pair of jeans and rip it up and resew it, and she'll make a shirt. And yeah. And what
That's
else
super
is back
cool.
there? What else is in the picture?
Like I see like a tackle box.
Yeah, that's art
With-
supplies.
I see books.
Those are Owen's old books that he wanted to save when he was younger.
Oh, and I see
What's that?
see Fitzdog Radio
Dog radio, a little
And a-
dartboard
and
over
a
there.
dartboard.
And then we got this is where that's Erin's desk. She takes care of business.
That is an old-fashioned desk. My mom has one like that. That is
Yeah.
a desk that like has like it has a roll-down
Rolls up
cover.
desk, the railway desk. Yeah.
Yeah.
My mom bought it for me when I was 30, and I've lugged it around. I've probably lived in a dozen places since then, and I've lugged it to each one of them.
I love it that you might need to like roll down the top of your desk and lock it.
Yeah, if you have a party. And then that's JoJo's, some of her surfboards are in the corner.
Nice.
And then I don't know, that's about it.
So you waited like 5 days and then did you get a test?
Yes.
Glad
clean.
you are
I'm
all
clean.
negative.
Yeah.
Greg, I think we did it again.
I think we have done it again. I got to check. Wait a minute. Yeah, we did it again.
Let me also check. Yep, we did it. They
It's
said we
double
couldn't
confirmed. No,
We
If-
listen. Oh, go ahead.
every week in the trades, Variety Magazine will say they can't do it again.
And then we
Hollywood
do.
Reporter,
Yeah.
impossible.
Right. And then
yet-
we prove them wrong every single time. It just goes to show, don't doubt us because we've done it before and we'll do it again.
we'll continue to do it, even if it means petering the show out for the last 3 minutes while I give you a virtual tour of my bonus room. It will get done.
It will get done. I liked it. I had questions about the shoes and now I know. Listen, if you would like to call the show, we won't answer ever. That is the promise. It's a childish promise. But we will play your voicemail on the show and we will answer it if you have a question. 805-317-4243. 805-317-4243. If you want to email us, we're childishpod@gmail.com. If you want to follow us on social media, please do. We are a ton of fun at childishpod on Twitter and Instagram. If you like what you're hearing, make sure you're subscribed. Tell your friends. Listen to us on Apple Podcasts or wherever you listen to your podcasts, and watch these fun videos, youtube.com/Allison Rosen, and leave us a nice comment. I read them sometimes, even though it makes Greg blush.
If you want to blush, come on out to the Tampa Improv. No, not the Tampa Improv. I used to work that club. Not a fan. No, instead, Side Splitters in Tampa, which I'll be at November 19th through 21. Fitzdog.com for tickets. Also, don't forget you can pick yourself up a Grapefruit Simmons t-shirt at that very same site. And check out Sunday Papers and Fitzdog Radio.
And check out Allison Rosen is Your New Best Friend. It comes out twice a week. I just had Bob Bryan on the show. Very fun to catch up with him. He played some of my old drops and I laughed a lot. And the videos of those I'm now putting on YouTube. So youtube.com/Allison Rosen. I'm also on Patreon, patreon.com/Allison Rosen. And Greg and I are both on Cameo, cameo.com/ / our respective names. And I just recorded a cameo for someone with not a lick of makeup on. And I saw it and I said, I look like a homeless person.
Oh,
no offense.
Stop it. I'm
no,
sure
but
your
like my hair
radio
was all
speaks
frizzy.
through.
It just like,
Yeah.
I looked like a vagabond. Is
By
that
the way,
an
if you
okay
want
thing
to
to
see
say?
that, anybody can go to Cameo and go to your account and watch that video.
That one was marked private, not by me.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
But anyway, I felt so bad. I just felt so bad I felt so bad that I was like, I'm going to record another one for them. But then they left me, they said that like they loved it. So, cause
Good.
it was, au
There you go.
natural. That's right. Au natural.
All right, Allison,
yeah.
we'll catch you next 2 weeks. We'll be
That's
back in
right.
business.
Back in biz.
And I am Greg Fitzsimmons.
I'm Allison Rosen.
And we are
Childish. All right. I have turned off my recorder. Now we go into the chat room, right? Did you turn off your recorder?
I don't think you didn't turn off the video though.
No.
Are you gonna turn that off?
No, because I meant go into the chat. Oh, you mean go into the chat room like and type. I just meant we'll just, they can watch us and I'll just read some questions in the chat room.
Oh, okay.
That's how we've been doing it.
Yeah.
Hello, everyone. Any questions for us? Anything you want to say? I'm just scrolling. I'm looking. Let's see. I endorsed Ari Shafir for president. I don't know about that.
Is he really running?
I don't think so.
Yeah. All right, I can now see it. And I see somebody wrote Ben Glebe for president.
He actually was running, but he dropped out a while ago.
And how many people noticed?
When will you be on Bert's show?
Bert's got a new show. Yeah, it's
The Cabin?
The Cabin. Yeah, Mike Gibbons, my partner on Sunday Papers, produced it.
Oh, cool. I haven't watched it yet. I heard it's really funny.
Yeah, it's funny. It's good. It's like a podcast up in Malibu.
I saw Caitlyn Jenner was on it. And how did you two end up starting this podcast together? We were friends, and I said to Greg, we should do a podcast together. And then many years later, here we are.
Yeah, it was. Wait, I'm hearing two different volumes. How do I turn down the volume on YouTube? Oh, I see,
just
right
mute
there.
it. You could also just hit mute or kill.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Allison was always, somebody do the Adam Carolla show and politics would come up, and we could share a decent eye roll once in a while. I think we should definitely make tubing a thing. Yeah, it sounds like a verb, doesn't it? Tubing.
Yeah.
If you're on Zoom and you're jerking off, you're tubing.
Bored and Pandemic says, will there ever be a reason to get a studio to record the Childish podcast? Do you mean like a dedicated studio or like for us to get together again? Well, the benefit of doing it this way is obviously it's safer and it's easier to record the video, but I definitely miss recording in person. I miss it so much.
Yeah, it was nicer being in person. It was more fun.
Both for this and for Allison Rosen's Your Best Friend.
We're also 45 minutes apart from each other, so I don't miss that.
No, that wasn't great. Remember the day that I went to your studio and you went to my house?
Oh my God, that's right.
Will you have Greg Heller as a guest? He is a new father. I did a special Patreon with him where he talked a lot about his kid, and he's come on my show. I don't know that we'd have him on this show. Let's see. Well, listen, this has been delightful.
It's been great. Thank you guys for hanging out. I love knowing that you're in the
thank you.
background, and I'm going back and looking at all the cool comments that happened during the show. People are commenting throughout the show. We should find a way to maybe touch base with people while they're doing that. Allison, why are you yelling at Greg? I don't remember
I
that.
don't know. Yeah, I feel like I've been thinking about how we would do that. I think either periodically I would look in there, or we'd like get someone who is monitoring it.
Most of
really
the
know.
comments are about Tubin.
Well, people have a lot to say about Tubin.
Yeah, it's the new thing. It's the hot new thing. It's like the twist. All right,
know.
we'll see you guys next week.
Yep. Bye,
God
everyone.
bless.
Bye, everyone. Okay.